8,000 sailors. A nuclear-powered carrier and its escorts push toward the world's tightest naval choke point. You click for the Eisenhower Strike Group. This is the tactical story you're here for. Now the question, does overwhelming firepower deter, or does it light up every Iranian sensor on the coast? Stay, and you'll see how a carrier group manages a narrow strait under constant eyes, and whether high-end Aegis screens can outthink fast attack swarms without firing a shot. A steel city moves toward a slot no wider than a breath. Giants slow their stride. 8,000 hands make the deck quiet. This is where mass learns manners. The Eisenhower Group flies its shield above and carries its knives at the edges. The carrier sits low and steady, air wings stacked in cycles. Cruisers and destroyers run the radar wall. A lean logistics tail trails just far enough to feed, just close enough to sprint. The water narrows and the clock speeds up. Turn room falls to yards. A contact that felt harmless yesterday now eats attention. One wooden hull on a lazy course becomes a question that must be answered in seconds, not minutes. So the formation tightens into intent. Picket destroyers push out on the nose and off each beam, angled to cross any inbound track before it touches the carrier's lane. They listen more than they shout. Electronic support teams skin every band for a stray tone, a cheap uplink, the telltale rhythm of a seeker warming. Overhead, combat air patrol turns on a rhythm you don't see until it's too late, rotating sections to keep fresh fuel and eyes on the rim while masking patterns that could be gamed. Air cover stretches the map. An E-2 rides high, extending the fleet's vision beyond the curve of the sea, linking ships and jets into one picture. F divided by a -18s sit with mixed loads, short-range heaters for snap intercepts, radar-guided sticks for reach, a couple of smart bombs in case a surface threat hardens fast. Hello detachments skim the seam between whitecaps and policy, nose-mounted sensors hunting wake signatures that don't fit, dipping sonar for the rare mine, and using door guns to warn, then stop, small craft that ignore calls. Risk isn't a vibe here. It's geometry. Shore batteries carve arcs that overlap the lane. Drones favor certain climb rates and approach angles. Their loiter times push them to corners of the sky where they blend with weather and traffic. Mines don't sit still. They drift with current, forming unseen chains where the flow pinches and eddies. That's why speed stays steady and lanes stay sacred. Break rhythm, and you widen windows for an ambush. Drift a few degrees off the track, and you invite a mine into your day. Doctrine says go quiet when the walls close. Practice refines that into a routine. Big emitters dim. Passive sensors take primacy. The group seeds false trails with timing that suggests a later pass, while the real transit advances under a low profile. You don't turn invisible. You become unhelpful. Logistics feel the squeeze hardest. Oilers and ammo ships hold outside the pinch. Engines warm, schedules like taut wire. Every extra hour the carrier lingers burns plan and fuel at once. Throughput is a promise you either keep or pay for later. So refuel windows are choreographed, and the fighting ships carry enough to finish the run without begging. The payoff shows up in the brain, not the biceps. Layered sensors feed the airborne eyes. The airborne eyes feed the Aegis brains. The formation converts a dirty sea into a forecast. You start to know what pops where, how long it takes to get there, and which contact matters. Mass stops feeling heavy. It feels sure, but certainty has a shelf life. It holds until the coastline wakes up and starts speaking in bursts and echoes. Fast hulls dart out and back. Decoys float, hiss, and blink. The noise gets thick, and now you're managing attention as much as you're managing steel. If you can't match tonnage, you flood the board. Small hulls, cheap drones, loud antennas. What happens when they map your defenses without firing a shot? Iran's coastal playbook leans into proximity and pace. Fast inshore attack, craft hug the shallows. Missile boats hold just outside the lane. Shore-based anti-ship batteries wait under camouflage, and drones ride the wind above them. Close escort shadowing is routine. Small boats match speed off the bow or beam and sit there, cameras up, radios hot, daring you to guess intent while they collect angles. That swarm blurs lines by design. A cluster of boats noses the standoff mark, then drifts back 2 cables, then inches forward again. Drones slide along the altitude floor where civil traffic lives, never quite crossing the line that triggers a hard kill. Tankers and dhows fill the backdrop, each one a potential mask for a fast turn or a handoff. You have to project control, keep weapons tight, and still deny the other side clean targeting data. So the duel moves to the spectrum. Aegis eyes and electronic attack suites parse returns, tag emissions, and jam links, while Iranian operators nudge bearings, change altitudes, and swap waveforms to see what moves. Every adjustment seeks a tell: how long the radar dwells, how wide the beam sweeps, which frequency burns through, which one gets blanked. Bit by bit, both sides build a pattern library. AIS and radar feed the cat and mouse. Civilian ships broadcast transponder pings that turn the sea into a digital crowd. The fleet trims its own emissions to stay dull on the scope and relies on passive ears and cooperative sensors to fill gaps. Iran pushes the reverse. Light up what you want seen, hide what you don't, and use civilian clutter as a shield. You want to see without being seen. They want the opposite. Past run-ins frame the thresholds. Harassing approaches at awkward angles force helos to wave off. Laser pointing at bridges and cockpits tests the line between nuisance and hostile act. Drone overflights at dusk press the ROE, edging near protected airspace before veering off. None of these moves require a shot. All of them ask the same question: what will you show me if I do this again? Counter-swarm tools wait on deck and in the air. Helos carry door guns and stabilized sights to warn, mark, and stop a fast mover that presses too close. Guided rockets give short, precise reach if a boat breaks the line at speed. Deck guns slave to surface search radars track small profiles when they pop from behind waves. Electronic attack teams cut UAV control links or drown the return so a drone flies blind. Small boat teams launch to board or interpose, creating a human buffer where a missile would be wrong and a shout would be ignored. The math favors cheap probes. One carrier sortie can cost what dozens of boats and quadcopters do in a day. The gray zone rewards the player who learns the most with the least risk. You can burn fuel and cycles all afternoon while the other side burns curiosity. So the near-term outcome is a data fight in slow motion. The US denies a rush, keeps the hulls at arm's length, and preserves the traffic lane. But every intercept arc drawn, every jamming profile chosen, every subtle formation tweaked teaches watchers how the bubble breathes. They learn the cadence. They learn your patience. They learn which move gets a bark and which one gets a bite. And that sets the decision in your hands. Did the show of force freeze the threat today, or feed it a free class for tomorrow? Comment your choice below. The lane stayed open. Deterrence held, but the long game shifted. Iran watched, logged, and learned how a US screen flexes under pressure. Who lights what, how fast fighters launch, where jammers bite. That's value you can bank, replay, and refine. So what do you call it? Peace bought, or lessons given away? Comment your choice below. If you want the tactics behind the headlines, subscribe now. This is the story of power used as signal and shield, and of sensors that turn chaos into forecasts. Power projects. Intelligence endures. Next time, which one matters more?